Code it yourself or hire others? We'll find out in a second. I'm Jay Adelson, and I'm the founder and chairman of Revision 3. I've built a number of companies. I've been hired as a CEO, and I've even been fired as one. For example, Equinix is a company I took public in 2000, and now has a market cap of over $4 billion. In 2008, I was incredibly honored to have been selected as one of Time Magazine's most influential people in the world. My goal is to pass on some of this knowledge to you, the budding entrepreneurs, and hopefully leave you with some words of wisdom. This episode of AskJay is brought to you by GoDaddy. Today's question comes from Dustin in Denver, Colorado, who asks, if you're a coder and want to start a business that requires a lot of development, should you do it all yourself to keep costs down? Or is it better to bring in others so you can focus on the business idea? Well, Dustin, great question. I think that there's a couple of fundamentals you should focus on here. You're a coder. That's what you're good at. You haven't started a business before. So, ergo, you're not as good at starting a business. It might be better if you're a really good coder to focus on doing that. You can be a founder of a company without being the CEO. So the question really is, are you the right person to run this business? Now, it could be that you have business skills and you feel like you can do that, but I will tell you that if this is your first time, if you want to increase your chance of success, find someone who's run a business before to help you execute on your first idea. You will learn so much, you will increase your chance of success, and you'll still get all the benefits because you're the founder and you're an executive in the company. You get to control the product, you get the credit for your idea, and you even create the first code so you can feel that sort of sense of accomplishment. That's my initial advice. Now, if you're someone who has a knack for business, you want to run this thing yourself, so let's follow through with the question and see where we go. I think that if you believe that the product or the code that you want to create is something that maybe other people might be able to do faster, more efficiently, or maybe go to elance.com or Odesk or something and hire some people outside to do it while you're focusing on, sort of the strategy and so forth. That is fine. There's no reason to avoid doing that. I think that in general, if you're the idea person, decide whether or not it's fully fleshed out and whether or not your time is better spent focused on creating that product strategy. There comes a point in time, if you're doing like a tech company or a website, when you'll feel that stretch, where you're being pulled in two places at the same time. You'll know when that point hits. My advice is to wait until that point comes before you make the call and start splitting responsibilities. Wait until you can feel that you're stretched, you don't have time, you really want to code this feature, but you're spending all this time raising money. That's a point in time where you need help. Bring some help into the company. Have someone else pick up where you left off, either on the code or focus and get someone else to help you build the business. So a great example of this is Digg and Kevin Rose. I mean, Kevin had an idea. He knew exactly what he wanted to create. He knew exactly what the product needed to look like and function like. And that was his strengths. He wanted to be the product guy. That was where all of the, the ideas for Digg came from. Was he was thinking about UX and UI and all of that. Whereas the actual code, that's not something he wanted to spend his time on at the beginning. In fact, he outsourced that. He found a coder through Elance, Owen Byrne, who created the prototype and later created a lot of the initial code for Digg. And then later on found me to be the business guy. And so this is a common thing to do where you outsource these components to other people and you focus again on your strengths. And in Kevin's case, he was the product guy. Anyway, in a minute, I'll give you some steps, some tips and tricks. Figure out, exactly, what kind of things you can do to lessen the amount of work on your plate while you're starting your business. But first, I want to thank our sponsor. Right now, we'd like to thank our sponsor, GoDaddy. Get reliable, secure web hosting without the long-term contract. GoDaddy's hosting plans are bigger and better than ever with 99.99% uptime, free 24/7 support, and no annual commitment. And remember, you can download GoDaddy's free iPhone, Android, or BlackBerry app to order right from your phone, manage your current domains, and more. Check out revision3.com/GoDaddy for a list of all the amazing GoDaddy deals from Revision 3. Use AskJay6 for an additional 20% off 1, 2, and 3-year hosting plans. All right, so a homework assignment. Let's think about for a minute what you want your lifestyle to be like for the next several years. And, think about really hard about what you want your day-to-day life to be. And I'll tell you why this is important right now. Because, you're deciding whether or not you want to be the business guy and let other people focus on coding or vice versa. This is setting a precedent that is going to be true for a very long time, for the full life cycle of the business. If you start as the business guy, there will come a point where either you're good enough or someone's going to need to replace you or supplement you. If you're a coder, you can be part of the team, but you're going to be coding most of the time. In the early stages of a company, everyone does everything, and that feels great, and it's really fun. It's a great time in the early stages, but as you are more successful, you're going to have to focus. You are setting a precedent. So decide what kind of lifestyle you're going to want for the next several years, and that will help you make a decision on what you want to do right now and who you want to outsource what to. I think another point, and this is something that I felt very useful for me early on, is you might want to get some experience in startups first and learn about your own limitations through internships or through other access to startups. You got a great idea, it's bubbling on the sidelines. Wouldn't it be awesome if you could take a summer internship or even take a job working for a startup elsewhere where you experiment with that lifestyle. You experiment with, okay, this is what it's like to code full time for this business or to offer maybe business leadership for this company and see for sure whether or not this is what you want to be your permanent role. Entrepreneurs, by definition, are not always CEOs. Sometimes they're CTOs, sometimes they're VPs of product. Sometimes they're advisors or board members and other people go and build their ideas. There is no rule that says you have to be the CEO to be successful. And so I strongly recommend you go through this process to make this determination, and I think you'll be more successful. So that's it for this episode of Ask Jay. We've been begging for weeks, but we want more. Please send your questions to AskJay@revision3.com. Use my Twitter account, @Jay Adelson, or upload a YouTube video response. Those are cool, but we need more. Please send them our way. And until next time, I'll see you later.